On a quiet Thursday afternoon on September 18, 2014, a 911 call came in Belle, Florida, a rural town about 40 miles west of Gainesville. It was just after 4 p.m. when a man calmly confessed to something horrific.
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids.
Welcome to Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide. We are Kai's AI co-hosts, bringing you your Florida Man Friday case that Kai wrote. Take a break, take a seat, and listen to this episode all the way to the end. If you like our retelling, then go ahead and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. You can also subscribe on the Patreon for free. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. You do get some benefits for being a free subscriber, but if you want more, bonus episodes, case extras, the new Deadly Duo segment, and being a voice of the victim right along with us and Kai, then sign up to one of our bonus tiers. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Now let's get back to your Florida Man Friday episode.
The man identified himself as Don Spirit and told the dispatcher exactly where to find him.
I'll be sitting on my step, and when you get here, I'm going to shoot myself.
When the dispatcher tried to get more details, Don stopped her.
I don't want to hear it, ma'am. I'm done with every effing thing. Just bring the mother effer out here. That's all. You got all the kids dead in the house.
9 minutes later, deputies from the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office pulled up to the property. Don was outside, walking back and forth with what looked like a jug of water. He didn't appear armed and told officers,
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the Stewarts. Colleen Stewart has turned Sarah into a whore and drugs, and I'm fed up with this whole family. The Stewart family. They've ruined my family. They've ruined my life, and I'm just tired of them all. And I've taken care of it today.
Then, without another word, Don walked to the back of the trailer. Seconds later, he returned with a semi-automatic weapon and shot himself in the chest. The entire thing unfolded in front of deputies and on dashcam video as backup arrived on the scene. Police were shocked at what just happened, to say the least. They began an investigation to figure out why this happened. They learned that this incident wasn't random. It came after years of violence, dysfunction, and deeply fractured relationships inside the Spirit family. 51-year-old Don Spirit had a long, disturbing history. His criminal record stretched back more than 2 decades, 22 years to be exact. In 1990, he was arrested on a felony fugitive warrant. Between 1992 and 1995, he had charges ranging from battery and drug possession to depriving a child of food and shelter. As a convicted felon, he wasn't even allowed to own a gun in Florida, but that didn't stop him. Authorities had been called to the family home on numerous occasions in the past. In 2001, during what he claimed was a hunting trip, Don shot and killed his 8-year-old son, Kyle. He later said he was just showing the boy some rust on the muzzle of his rifle when it went off, hitting the little boy in the head. He pleaded guilty to illegally owning a firearm and got 3 years in prison.
Wait, what? Police and the justice system believed that excuse?
He was released in February 2006. By 2014, he was still armed and angrier than ever. His ex-wife told investigators she believed Don was bipolar and had been off his medication for about a month or 2 before the murder. He was also reportedly using synthetic drugs called Spice. People close to the family said he'd been spiraling in the weeks before the murders. His daughter, 28-year-old Sarah Spirit, had her own share of trouble with him. She'd actually called the police on him before. In 2008, during a domestic violence injunction court order, she told the court she was terrified of her father. She got a protective order after accusing him of physical abuse, writing, quote, "I am very scared of him. I know what he is capable of." Don still spent 6 months behind bars for a battery charge. Sarah had her own run-ins with the law with charges of theft, drug use, and battery. She was also on probation for a 2013 grand theft arrest. Now, although she had problems with the law, friends described her as smart and kind. Sarah's friend, James Bell, described her as a beautiful, smart woman who moved from Tampa to Belle to help her dad out. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement found out that in the days leading up to the killings, Dawn had become fixated on Colin. She was Sarah's great aunt and caretaker of some of the kids. Dawn blamed her for everything. He believed she had, quote, turned Sarah into a prostitute and ruined his family. On September 17, 2014, Colleen overheard Dawn tell Sarah that her kids weren't worth crap and that he
didn't love them. Tell someone to come get them because I don't love them. I hate them.
Dawn later apologized, explaining he was stressed out by Sarah's unemployment and recent activities of her taking money for sex acts from a man named Jose. Sarah had only known Jose for 2 days and received $25 on September 16, 2014, and $70 on September 17th. Some of that money was meant for Don, and he was furious. He said that the kids were not going to live this kind of life. After the shootings on September 18th, police went inside of the home. Inside was a nightmare. Sarah was found partially under a tarp outside. She had been shot in the head, stabbed 6 times, and beaten with a pistol. Her children were found inside the house in various spots. Caleb 11, Kylie 9, Jonathan 8, Destiny 5, Brandon 4, and Alana just 3 months old. All had been shot. 4 of them had ridden the school bus home just 2 hours before they were killed. Autopsy results confirmed the youngest child died from a gunshot wound to the torso, while the 5 older children died from gunshot wounds to the head. Because Don died at the scene, there was never a trial, no charges filed, no defense, no sentencing. The legal part of the case ended as soon as he pulled the trigger on himself. But the community of Belle, a town with barely 350 residents, was left in shock. Lieutenant Jeff Manning choked up during a press briefing saying, "This has been a trying time for the community." Another resident said what most people were thinking.
Even if there were family problems, why involve the kids? It's enough that he took his daughter's life, but his grandkids too? It's surreal.
Instead of helping the kids who he didn't want to see raised in an atmosphere he didn't agree with, or even help himself, Don made a choice that no one can understand. Sheriff Robert Schultz said,
There's still a lot of unanswered questions. There's going to be questions we're never going to get answered.
And that is the case of Don Spirit, a mentally unstable man whose mental instability led to the death of his entire family and himself. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or in crisis, confidential and free, 24/7 help is available. Call or text 988, or you can chat at 988lifeline.org. If you are in need of support, but not in crisis, consider reaching out to a warm line. Warm lines offer a place to call when you just need to talk to someone. Speaking to someone on these calls is typically free, confidential, and run by people who understand what it's like to struggle with mental health problems. Find a warm line at mhanational.org/warmlines.
What do you think of this sad case? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget that you can also join us over in the Patreon, patreon.com/loveandmurder. We have a lot of bonus episodes waiting for you, as well as bloopers, behind the scenes, and pictures from Kai's life. You can also find the premiere episode of Kai's new series, Dangerous Duos, patreon.com/loveandmurder. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you in the next episode.